What's going on, Trollios? Welcome back to the channel. And even though we're right into 2020, I'm not starting off with the most heart-pumping, exhilarating, show-stopping video on YouTube, but I think it's important to talk about console exclusives. We have next-gen hardware on the horizon. The end of 2020 is going to be huge. But before we get there, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have a ton of good games in store for us. And like always, you gotta put a little asterisk right next to it because there's going to be games that are being dropped last minute that I have no idea. But each console has a few games coming out already planned for 2020 that are specific to their platform only. So with that, I'm going to start off with the PlayStation 4. I'm going to talk about a few games that you should keep your eye on, move on to the Xbox, move on to the Nintendo Switch in the next few days. So with that, let's talk about what PS4 fans have to look forward to in 2020. Sony's coming out hard. January, we're going to see the release of Yakuza VII. Oh, the 7th game in this series? Hold on a second. Don't get your martial arts boots ready. Don't dip your hands in glass and put your headband down, because we're getting a completely different change from the normal Yakuza series. Gone is the action beat-em-up style game. We're getting the JRPG turn-based fighting system in a Yakuza game? Yeah, that's for sure. And gone is your favorite protagonist, Kazuma. We're getting a new guy, Ichiban Kasuga. Yeah, they're not just changing the gameplay up, they're changing up pretty much everything. You're even getting a new setting. You're not in Tokyo anymore, now you're hitting Yokohama. What is going on? Well, Yakuza, they said themselves, we're gonna take a change, and if fans hate it, then we're gonna do something else. So I don't know, Yakuza 7 is coming out. It's a completely different game from Yakuza 6 and any of the previous games in the franchise. And frankly, it's crazy to think that a company that's seen this much success is gonna throw a fork in there and say, we wanna try something different. But you know what? It's kinda cool. It could be something different that fans are like, wow, this is incredible to see a turn-based JRPG style in the Yakuza franchise. But then fans of the original games may be completely caught off guard when it comes out. So this is definitely one that I'm going to keep my eye on more just because I'm curious to hear what the reviews are like. I mean, we all know Yakuza is pretty good, has a pretty good track record, but this game taking a 180, whoo, that's pretty ballsy. Next up is a game that, do we really even need to talk about Final Fantasy VII? The remake? I mean, Square is making a game out of a game that nobody even needs to be introduced to. And I'm okay with that. It's one of the most talked about RPG games to ever take control of our televisions. It's one of the most epic games that I've ever played. But Final Fantasy VII, the remake, is coming out, and we're all getting it in episodic pieces. I'll save that little gripe for another day. But Final Fantasy VII is getting a full-on remake. I know you knew about this. This is one that I probably could have left off the list, but I know you trolls would have been smacking me around this message board if I didn't at least bring up that Final Fantasy VII will be dropped this year on the PlayStation 4. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5, right? Nioh 2 is also coming out. It's the sequel to the original, but it acts as a prequel as far as the chronology goes, the storyline, and this also includes a 3-player co-op mode. Now, Nioh is not your basic hack and slash. It's a tough game, so to have a few buddies hanging out with you while you're getting murked could be pretty fun. I'm not sure exactly how the co-op's gonna work, but if you want to play some hack and slash action RPG with kind of that Souls-esque feel, everything kind of gets called Souls-esque now. I almost hate saying it, but I said it right, so we're just gonna go with it. So Nioh 2 comes out pretty soon. Next up is a game that has been in beta for a long time, and many people have already played it. You've probably seen stills, you've seen some videos, and it's a game called Dreams. And it's literally that. Whatever you dream of, you can pretty much make. It's a game that is more of like a Minecraft for adults, a Minecraft in the real world. This is not a hand-holding game though. Even though it's been an open beta and the release is finally getting dropped on the PlayStation 4, this is one that takes a long time to master. There's already players that have created full Lord of the Rings replicas in there, a Metal Gear Solid remake within the game. This is like Mario Maker. Imagine Mario Maker, except you're not just making levels for Mario, you can make anything you want. Now this is definitely one that is out of my realm. I'm not creative enough. I can barely draw a picture of a stick figure, nonetheless try to get a hold of a controller and press L and R3 and R1. I mean, there's just too much crap going on. I can't wait though to maybe get my hands on this and play other people's creations. There was a picture that I'm gonna put right here of a guy who made a breakfast plate in dreams, and it's one of the most realistic things I've ever seen in gaming. I'm not talking like 4K, 8K, just something that you can create in a game that is ridiculous. So take a look at this. All right, get ready, folks. We've got Predator Hunting Grounds coming out. This is like one of the coolest characters because he's a villain in the first few movies and then kind of almost becomes like a hero in some of the later installments, especially when he's fighting the aliens. But with this, you are playing as either the Predator or these soldiers. You're not completely helpless, which is nice. Along the same lines of Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, you are trying to survive the Predator, but you're again not helpless, which is a nice call. You're not tripping over tree stumps trying to run away from Jason Voorhees. This, you have weapons, you're trying to take down the Predator and escape or kill him. I'm not exactly sure 100% of the gameplay yet, and this is a to be announced release date, so we don't know everything about it. The cool thing is you also can be the Predator, which is really what the coolest part is. You got the infrared vision, you have the weapons and gadgets that goes along with it. So this could be a really fun game along that Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, even that Evolve. Remember Evolve when you're trying to track down that gigantic monster and trap him? That was kind of a cool game, but just never really took off. But this one, with a really cool, iconic kind of villain in the lead role, this could be a pretty fun game to pick up and play, especially with some buddies. Next up is a game that really needs no introduction. The Last of Us Part 2. Are you serious? What can I say that hasn't been said? It's one of the greatest games of the last decade. Hands down, the game that I picked that literally moved the needle, changed everything, made my emotions when it came to playing a game completely off the charts. It is one of the greatest games. If you haven't played The Last of Us Part 1, you've got to play it because The Last of Us Part 2 is going to build on that. I hope with all the hype surrounding it that it works out. And you know what? It's going to. I can feel it. So Last of Us Part 2 is hitting this year. Definitely going to be on the PS4, most likely the PS5 as well. Can't wait. We have a game called Wild coming out. This is an open world survival game taking place in the prehistoric era. Now, as far as I'm concerned, isn't the whole point of the prehistoric era just to survive? I mean, everything killed you back then. Like, you were literally just trying to find a cave and live long enough to eat and drink and repeat the next day. This is like a caveman simulator. You actually play as a shaman, though. So that's kind of cool. You got some cool powers, and it's not quite historically accurate unless, the whole shaman thing really did exist that I didn't know about. But you gain abilities as you progress, and you want to basically survive and take over animals and use the wild animal senses and their abilities to kind of survive the world around you. So it could be pretty cool. I'm definitely interested to see how this turns out. It looks pretty neat, but again, an open world survival game taking place in the prehistoric era, pretty cool. And the last, but certainly not least, is Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima? However you pronounce it. This is announced, but not an actual release date set yet. A stealth-based action-adventure game by Sucker Punch Studios, and it literally has my gi rising because this game looks really cool. You're playing as the last samurai during the Mongol invasion. That is awesome. The Last Samurai, and it's not Tom Cruise. We're playing as a Last Samurai during the Mongol invasion. This is supposedly a large open world game that implores you to explore. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It's been hyped. Remember when this got announced and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and we kind of thought they might be similar, but no, they're completely different. You got a grappling hook. You got some really cool things that can help you traverse the land. You have a horse. I mean, who doesn't like riding a horse, okay? Red Dead Redemption 2 made horse travel really cool again. So anyway, that is the last game, Ghost of Tsushima, coming out for sure 2020 on the PS4 and PS5. All right, folks, that wraps it up. What game are you looking forward to from the PlayStation library in 2020? I can't wait to see what games come out that I don't even have a clue are on the horizon, but Last of Us Part 2 is a pre-order. It's a must-buy. It's one that I can't wait to dive into. With that being said, guys, in a couple days, you'll have the Switch and the Xbox video out, so stay tuned for those. Keep trolling, keep rolling.